What's up YouTube? Today we're going to talk about computer science and in particular computer science at UNISA. Alright, let's start off with my university life. So I graduated with a Bachelor's of Science in Computer Science and Applied Mathematics at UNISA, and I graduated cum laude. I then went on to get my honors in Applied Mathematics, also at UNISA. And I'm now working as an embedded software developer, and I'm very much enjoying it. The pros about UNISA. So UNISA is very cheap, alright? It's only about 20,000 Rand per year for the computer science. And I know for some people that's not cheap, but realistically, compared to other universities, that is very affordable, alright? You're able to work a part-time job at UNISA, and you should be able to pay your study fees part-time minimum wage job. Another pro is it's fully online. That also gives you the ability to work a part-time job. Right? A lot of universities, you cannot do things like that, or they make it very, very hard. UNISA, everything's online. You get all of your assignments at the beginning of the year and their due dates, or most of them, not all, but most of them. And that way you can plan your study sessions, your assignment sessions, etc. And as long as you get the things done, they don't care, right? Another pro is UNISA is well-established university. I think they've been around for more than 150 years, something like that. So you know nothing crazy is gonna happen. I remember there was some university in the news recently that they didn't pay and then the students lost their degrees, something like that. That's not going to happen at UNISA, okay? Old university like this, it's not going to happen. The degrees at UNISA are also internationally recognized, which is a benefit. A lot of people think it's some Mickey Mouse degree. No, it's not. It's a real degree that you get and it's recognized, okay? Another thing is that people usually underestimate is the fact that UNISA is really, really, really big. 300,000 plus students, alright? Which means that they need a lot of professors to facilitate all these students. And because they have so many professors, they have a wide range of expertise and can offer a wide range of degrees. If you've ever gone on the UNISA site, you know that there's tons of degrees available. And specifically for research purposes, you have a lot of professors to choose from that are doing many, many different things in different fields. So that's also a bonus, all right? A lot of people will be worried that because it's online, you're going to struggle with internet connectivity at home, okay? Don't worry. UNISA does give you data every month. They give you about 20 gigs of data every month, and I think it's 10 gigs nighttime data. I can't remember the exact amount. But honestly, guys, that's enough, okay? If you use it just for studying, that's enough. Because once you have your textbooks and things, reading all that is offline. Just downloading the assignments are very quick. And if you need to Google help somewhere, then you can do that, right? And if you do run out of free data, there's always other options. I mean, you could always try internet cafe or something along those lines, alright? But they really are trying to help students in that department. So we've gone over a couple of the pros, but what are the cons of UNISA, right? Can't all be good. Now, first con is it's fully online, right? I know this was a pro, but it could also be a con. If you hate self-studying and you hate having no in-person lessons, then UNISA is going to be terrible. It's going to be actually undoable for you. And a lot of people don't like that. That's why I think UNISA is not for everyone, right? UNISA is basically, they're going to tell you, okay, you need to know these topics. Here's a textbook, go learn, right? You need to go learn. If you don't understand, you need to go figure out a way to understand through YouTube, through Google, through AI, through chatting to people, through emailing your lecturer. I don't know. You have to go and put in the effort. If you're not prepared to do that, then you will fail at UNISA, alright? So that's something to really take into account. Another big thing is there's no university life, right? A lot of high schoolers, they look forward to that university life, staying on the residence on campus and chilling with their friends, going out to drink, etc. That doesn't exist at UNISA. The university life at UNISA is sitting at home in your room on your laptop and staring at the screen, okay? So be prepared in that regard. Because of that, you also have access to no networking with other students. So after you graduate, you don't really know who was all in your class. You know, you didn't interact with them. They cannot help you get a job if they get a job. Yeah, so that's also a bit of a negative, you know, is that social aspect of things. It's just not there. And lastly, a big negative is it's just not as prestigious as UCT, WITS, or Stellenbosch. Okay? Does this really matter? No. You can get a job, but it's a whole lot easier if you have a degree from UCT, WITS, and Stellenbosch, right? So I know for me in particular, I did computer science and applied maths. I was very interested in working as maybe a quantitative analyst at a bank, right? But those people, they really prioritize those three universities, okay? So be prepared that some fields are going to be really difficult to break into and you might have to work your way from the bottom. But for general software development, normal companies, you're okay. Your degree is fine, right? So don't let this stress you out. Don't let this deter you from coming to UNISA. It is still possible to find a job. And it's quite easy actually with computer science. It's very high in demand. All right. Talking about computer science, let's actually discuss computer science at UNISA. All right. There are 3 degrees at UNISA that are computer science-ish. Number 1 is BSc in informatics. And I'm just lightly going to touch on this one because I don't know too much about it. I know that it's mostly a mix between obviously computer science, so programming, and the business side of things, all right? So if you're interested in that, informatics. Then we have the other 2 options, which is computing and computer science plus whatever your second major is, all right? Let's start with computing. Now, computing focuses heavily on software development itself and the practical use cases for it. Now that's very important to understand because when you compare it to computer science is more a mix of the programming, the theory, and then your second major that you picked. Sorry. So going into UNISA, you need to sort of have an idea of what you want to do one day because of the fact that you sort of specialize early on, right? So let's say you know for a fact you want to be a general software developer, you want to make, I don't know, just regular desktop applications, or you want to be a web developer, you know, do general software developer related things. You are going to be much more successful doing computing, okay? Very important. However, let's say you're more interested in careers such as data science, or maybe, let's say there's a computer science and physics, right? So maybe, oh sorry, I should first say the data science one, it would probably be more suited to the computer science and statistics. Right? Because data scientists use statistics on a daily basis very often, and to be a data scientist you need to have a strong grasp of statistics itself. They also have computer science and physics, which I was going to say maybe you could go into like the space side of things, which is a bit niche, but sure. But don't let this be the be all and end all. You can be a data science with computer science and physics, okay? It's just easier. These are just easy general paths that to take if you have a rough idea of where you want to go. For computer science and applied maths, it's a bit more broad. That's why I like to choose it. But I wanted to obviously go more into the banking side of things, so I reckon the applied maths was going to help in that department. Statistics would have also been a good choice, regular mathematics would have been a good choice. You need to just look at the modules and decide which one you like best. But the important part that you need to take away from this is that computing is for general software development, and computer science is a mix of theory with your other major with software development. So that's very important, okay? In the end, the raw, better programmer would probably come from computing. However, the computer scientists will have knowledge of mathematics, physics, statistics that the other computing major might not know. But if you're not going to use it in your daily life, doesn't matter. So you need to decide that for yourself, all right? Something to also take note is that the computer science modules in general in UNISA, so all computing, computer science, etc., they have a very high focus on C++, and in particular Qt, which is a framework for cross-platform application development, and that is a main focus at UNISA. It's very niche because other universities mostly do like Java, C#, etc., and they might not do C++ or just lightly touch on C++. So yeah, if that's something you're interested in, take note of that. I can tell you that it's a great skill to have as a C++ or C++ in general, because it's the main reason I got my job, right? In embedded systems, you're working mostly with C++ and hardware, so it's required to be a good C++ developer and have good knowledge on C++ itself. And but it's very niche, right? Like, again, if you want to be a web developer, like just go computing and do the networking module there and the web development module there, etc. All right. Another thing to note is that computer science compared to computing, the maths is tough. Okay, you need to understand the maths is tough. If you just want to be a software developer, you're not going to use it. So don't do it. You will never use the maths, and it will be a lot of effort, and it will be very hard, and it might stop you from getting a distinction. Okay? Because in computing, you only do introductory mathematics courses, statistics courses. It's all introductory, right? Very doable. You have the choice of, I think, doing calculus the next level, so like year 2 calculus, but again, you don't have to. Okay? So that's something that you can take into account too. Another thing that you guys need to really understand is that all of these computing degrees, computer science, whatever, they can all lead to the same career with a little bit of extra effort. What do I mean by this? I mean that if you want to be a web developer and you study computer science and physics, you need to go on your own and go and learn HTML, JavaScript, CSS, frameworks for that, and develop your skills in that side of things. The degree is fine, right? The employers don't care. As long as you have a computer science related degree, that's fine. You just need to fill the gaps for the skills. And as long as you can do that in your own time, you can pretty much work in whatever field you want to work in the IT space. Okay? And on a closing note, I just want to say for this that you really need to take it seriously during the year when you do your assessments. It's very easy to cheat with AI or just slack and not really care, but actually UNISA, your end of year exam counts 70-80% of your year mark, right? The assignments actually don't matter that much. They are there to help you learn. They're there to tell you what to learn, when to learn, how the questions are phrased, etc. So really take your time, do the assessments properly, learn the work, so that way you're not cooked for the exam. Because if you cheat, use AI, ChatGPT every single exam, Google every single, assessment, Google every single assessment, get the answer. Come the exam, you're cooked, right? You're just doomed. You know nothing, and your exam counts all your marks, and you fail, and you waste money, and you waste a whole year of your life. Don't do that, alright? Also now, lastly, I'd like to move on to what you should do during your degree, which is very Very, very important. If you take anything from this, you need to listen to this for anyone studying computer science anywhere, all right? While studying, you must build personal projects. I know everyone says this, but honestly, you really need to build personal projects, and you need to build personal projects that actually have real world application or are cool talking points, like they can catch the attention of people reading your CV, right? And you need to be able to learn skills from these projects. So maybe let's say you make a chatbot. Well, not a chatbot, let's say a chat platform like WhatsApp, right? This is important because it could be something simple, right? Like very simple, but it's between desktops and they communicate with each other, they establish a secure connection. That is a great project, okay? And it could be spiced up with some more complex elements, sending videos and voice notes, etc., But just the networking side of that is so crucial, like that shows the person. And then if you can write in the description the skills that you learnt while doing the project, that also will really, really help your CV, okay? And it will make you so easily employable if your projects align with the job that you are aiming for. Again, if you want to do finance, you make finance projects. You want to do web development, you make web development projects. It's very simple, right? You want to make games? Go make games. So yes, that's very important. Another thing is, in your final year of studying, try your absolute best to maybe get an internship. There are internships that let you apply in your final year. Apply to all of them. At this point, you should have some good projects. If not, you're cooked, okay? So make sure you have some good projects lined up. CV is 100% for your internship, all right, in your final year. If you cannot get an internship, I couldn't get an internship, right? I could not get an internship. What do? This is what you do. You try to work any way you can for any work experience, even if it's for free. All right, what do I mean by this? You go and you approach a local business, you approach a local coffee shop, your local, pet shop, whatever you want, and you tell them, hey, listen guys, I see you don't have a website, like how about I make a website for you for free? You could host it for this amount, or you could first look at it, etc., etc. Do whatever. You could go to your school, propose some management system, library management system for your local library, whatever. It's endless, right? Use your entrepreneurial skills. I mean, it's not really entrepreneurship because you could do it for free. But yeah, this way, you get work experience to put on your CV. You could put that you did a project for these people. And even if you did it for free, you don't have to put that in your CV, right? The person reading it doesn't need to know. You just put the name of the company, what you did for them, you show, display links to what you did, and everything looks good. It looks like you can make something in production, something that's useful for a business. So it's very important to try to do that, and that's what I did. I approached the business. They needed a financial sort of management system, so I made like a website application with a C++ server for them, and I did it completely for free, right? It's all in-house. There's no like costing for the hosting. It's all run on the server on the premises, and I put it on my CV and it helped a ton, right? Okay, it was like a 3-month project where I did it on my off time from university, and it's better than nothing, okay? It's like a mini internship, so very important. And the last point of this video is, when you're looking for a job, try make a LinkedIn profile, stack it up with all your stuff, but really try to avoid LinkedIn in general when applying for jobs, okay? The competition is steep. They post a listing, same day 100 applicants, okay? So yeah, be careful of LinkedIn. The better alternative that not many people know about is a website called PNet. P-N-E-T. Okay? PNet. On PNet, you create your profile and you can apply for jobs there like normal. But once you create your profile, recruiters who use PNet a ton can search specific skills, and if it's on your profile or in your CV or whatever, they can look at your profile, look at your CV, and they will actually give you a phone call, right? This is what worked for me. And I'm telling you guys, like, I had 3 recruiters per week phoning me, offering me interviews or assessments, or, you know what I mean, getting me started in the process of finding a job. So it's great. You don't have to do anything, okay? And guys, don't be discouraged when applying for a job. I had to apply for 200 plus positions before I found one. And it's simple. Every day you wake up, you whip out your phone, you gotta look what's new, and you just apply. You just apply. If your experience doesn't match, you still apply, okay? Doesn't matter. Who cares, right? Just apply. There's no harm in applying to everything. And that's something that you really have to understand, and I hope that doesn't discourage you in your job hunt, because one day when you do get your job, you'll be so happy, and once you get that experience, all is good. You'll be employable for life. Thanks for watching. I hope this video is useful. If you guys have any more questions, put them down in the comments below. I'll answer every single question, unless the video blows up and there's like tons of questions. Yeah, and let me know if you have any ideas for future videos, or if you want to see something in future, or hear anything else. Let me know. Thanks for watching, guys.